Welcome back. Here's Pam Ball with your 5-day forecast.
If you like your vitamin D straight from the source, you might need to hit up a pharmacy. Nothing but gray clouds for the next few days. Let's take a look at your 5-day forecast. Today is mainly cloudy with a high of 9 and a low of 5. We'll see some scattered showers this afternoon and the sun might peek through. Tomorrow, cloudy with a chance of showers or wet flurries. We'll have a high of 5 and a low of -1. Saturday, cloudy. Still some showers or flurries in the forecast. We'll have a high of 5 and a low of 0. Sunday, cloudy with a high of 5 and a low of 0. And finally, the best is last. Monday's mainly sunny with a high of 9 and a low of 2. Well, the sun might not come out tomorrow, but there's a chance you'll be walking on sunshine after the weekend. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Pam. Now some breaking news. Vakhtang Makhniashvili, father of missing Toronto girl Miriam Makhniashvili, has been arrested in connection with a double stabbing in Toronto's East End. Police say a husband and wife in their 40s were stabbed just before noon today and have since been taken to the hospital. Shortly after, Makhniashvili turned himself into police. Now turning to national and international news, the Australian airline Qantas says it grounded 6 of its A380 jumbo jets after one of its super jumbos had to make an emergency landing this morning. The airline's flight QF32 made the landing shortly after leaving the Singapore airport on its way to Sydney after the plane suffered what was called a significant engine failure. A spokesperson says one engine was damaged, but the plane could fly and landed safely with only 3 engines running. 433 passengers and 26 staff were on board, but no one was injured.
One of the bombs sent by plane from Yemen to Chicago was defused 17 minutes before it was set to detonate. That's according to a French government official, but he did not reveal the source of the information. The bombs were found Friday on the flight, hidden within toner cartridges. Al-Qaeda's top bomb maker in Yemen, Ibrahim al-Asari, is said to have made these bombs and the one hidden in the man's underwear on a flight last Christmas.
San Diego authorities say 18 tons of marijuana were seized at the Mexico border. This is the second largest pot bust in the United States. The drugs are said to have been smuggled through a tunnel under the border. The U.S. Customs and Immigration Enforcement Director says the smuggling was likely the work of a cartel. He also says the total amount of pot found is valued at $20 million. The seizure comes days after Californians voted against a bill to make recreational marijuana use legal.
What would you do if you won $11.2 million? If you're like Alan and Violet Large, you wouldn't spend it on yourself. The Nova Scotia couple won the lottery in July, but they spent the money on family, organizations, and institutions. The win came at a difficult time in their lives as Violet was undergoing treatments for cancer. Alan says the money meant nothing to them as they had each other, so they decided to give it away.
And now Scott Money has the latest news from the world of sports.
I'm Scott Money, and it's time to talk sports. Humber's women's volleyball team will be at Niagara College tonight to take on the Knights. The women finished 10-3 in exhibition play. The Hawks' Laura Bai says these early games are important for team chemistry.
Getting to know what your players do on the court is very important, like getting to know what balls they're going to take or which way they move better and things like that. So that is all still coming to us.
In the NHL, despite a heroic comeback, the Leafs were unable to pick up the 2 points in Washington last night. Toronto actually found the back of the net, potting 3 third-period goals, but wound up falling 5-4 in a shootout. It was the first time the Leafs scored more than 3 goals in a game since October 15th. The team had goals from Nikolai Kulemin, Tyler Bozak, Christopher Stieg, and Mike Brown. Last night's loss runs the team's losing streak to 4 games. To make matters worse for the struggling Buds, Captain Dion Phaneuf will reportedly be out for 4 to 6 weeks after undergoing surgery to repair his deep cut in his leg he suffered in a game against Ottawa earlier this week. Now for a look at action from the hardwood. In a complete shocker, the Toronto Raptors got tuned by the Utah Jazz last night. The 125-108 setback was the Raptors' 11th consecutive loss against the Jazz. Leading the way for the Jazz was all-star guard Al Jefferson. With 27 points, Jefferson made it look easy. He also was 2 rebounds short of a triple-double. Andrea Bargnani had 26 points for the now 1-3 Raps. The future doesn't look bright for the Raptors either, as they are in LA to face Kobe and the Lakers on Friday. In other Toronto sports news, after another disappointing season that saw the Toronto FC outside the playoff picture, they're turning to former German coach and star player Jurgen Klinsmann to advise the team. The hiring comes after TFC reached a low point last year that saw their team fire their coach and director of operations. Klinsmann will work closely with the team to try to help satisfy the legions of rabid TFC fans dying to see a playoff game for the first time in their 4 years of existence. It took 12 years, but Randy Moss is now a Tennessee Titan. The Titans, who passed up on Moss in the 1998 draft because of attitude concerns, have claimed the veteran wide receiver off waivers from the Vikings. Moss, a likely future Hall of Famer, is in his 13th season. The Titans are hoping the 33-year-old can help the team finish atop of the AFC South. Now that's all for sports. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Scott. After the break, Amy Douglas will have your entertainment update.
Coming up in entertainment, Toronto fans welcome Taylor Swift. Lil Wayne is a free man. All that and more after the break.